Good morning. Let's hear it a little bit louder with your teacher voices. Good morning.
Good morning.
Wonderful. You may be seated. Good morning and welcome to the 2024 College of Education Convocation Ceremony. I'm Cristala Musa, Dean of the College of Education. This is a very special time of year for celebrating our students and their academic accomplishments. There's no greater joy in higher education than to experience the celebration that ends with the turning of the tassels. Today, it is with joy and great pride that we recognize the graduates of our class of 2024. I'm grateful to share in this ceremonial tradition, just as thousands of University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign alumni, family and friends have before us. I would like to begin by thanking College of Education leadership in attendance today. Your dedication to the mission of our college and to our students makes this an important day of celebration as you witness the achievements of these graduates. I would like to also thank two special guests in attendance, and I would ask that they rise as able when their name is called. Dr. James Anderson, Dean Emeritus, and this year's recipient of the honorary doctorate degree from the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. We also have Dr. Christopher Spien, Chief of Staff and Associate Chancellor for Administration and Pre-K-12 Initiatives. As a land-grant institution, the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign has a responsibility to acknowledge the historical context in which it exists. In order to remind ourselves and our community, we will begin this event with the following statement. We're currently on the lands of the Peoria, Kaskaskia, Pinkashaw, Way, Miami, Mascoutin, Odawa, Saw, Meskwaki, Kickapoo, Potawatomi, Ojibwe, and Chickasaw nations. It is necessary for us to acknowledge these native nations and for us to work with them as we move forward as an institution. Over the next 150 years, we will be a vibrant community, inclusive of all our differences with Native peoples at the core of our efforts. Now I ask that you please stand as able for the singing of our national anthem by Kendra Milligan.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched, we're so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, Kendra. It is now my honor to introduce Dr. April Warren Grice as our 2024 Convocation Ceremony keynote speaker. Dr. Warren Grice is a 2014 graduate of the College of Education at Illinois, earning her PhD in education policy, organization, and leadership. She's a founder and CEO of Liberated Genius LLC, an educational consulting company supporting educational leaders and liberatory pedagogy and collaborative advocacy opportunities for Black youth and educators. She also serves as the Director of Research and Organizational Learning at Empower Institute, which focuses on advocating a more just and vibrant world through community healing and well-being initiatives that unleash people, community, and organizational power. A highly regarded research practitioner and educational equity visionary, Dr. Warren Grice believes wellness is social justice and takes a holistic approach to developing the mind, body, and spirit. She serves as a bridge of connection for advocates and practitioners wanting to move from theory to practice. In addition, she creates communities of practice among academics, educators, wellness practitioners, and the people they serve. Her career in education spans more than 20 years and includes service as a high school English teacher and administrator, assistant professor, professional development coordinator, and educational consultant. Please join me in welcoming Dr. April Warren Grice to the podium.
Good morning, College of Education at Illinois. First, I just want to say thank you for everyone who has helped to make this amazing day possible, especially Dean Musa, Dr. Pak, Allison Stevenson. I also want to acknowledge the staff, from the administrative assistants to the custodial and grounds people, to the countless people who support the daily function of this campus. I also want to express my sincere gratitude to the first people, the original stewards of this land, and the direct and or indirect labor of Black and brown folks who have supported this institution, and every hand that has ever touched this space as they have blessed it with their time, energy, labor, and scholarship. We are the beneficiaries, and I give thanks. Now, in the affectionate words of the great philosopher known as Sean Corey Carter, otherwise known as Jay-Z, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Dr. April Michelle Warren Grice, and I am the daughter of Michael and Teresa Warren, the granddaughter of Wilbur and Bobby Sue Warren, Mozella Cummings and George Grice, the great-granddaughter of Lola Mae and Milton Dixon, and Macy and Earl Jack Cunningham. I am the academic daughter of Doctors Ruth Nicole Brown, Adrian Dixon, Lawrence Parker, James D. Anderson, and the late Stafford Hood. The academic niece of Doctors William Trent, Chris Spann, Yoon Pak, Antonia Darder. And I have a host of academic siblings and cousins, such as, and I know I'm gonna get in trouble because I'm not gonna name them all, but I'm gonna just name a few. Doctors Ivory Berry, Cecilia Suarez, Montrecia Williams, Dominique Hill, Darrell Collier, Norma Maroon, Patty Garcia, Miguel Sauceda, and Kelly Bird. Now I have academic big cousins. Doctors Melvin Armstrong, Shamara Kwachi, Ishwanzia Rivers, Reina Dyer Barr, Rufina Cortez, Rich Benson, Tony Jimenez, Maria Jimenez, Kamal Rashid, Gabriel Cortez, Joy Williamson Lott, Ebony Zamani Gallagher, Katrina Sanders, Don Williams, Venus Evans Winters, Tara Van Zant Chambers, Dave Stovall, Ron Rashawn, and the list goes on. Now, let me tell you why I said all of that. I am made up of a sum of these folks and so many more. And whenever I walk in a space, when I walk through, Illinois is present. And the same is for you. We walk with giants. Let me just tell you, graduates, you chose well. The name on your degree and the legacy of those names, named and unnamed, precedes you. When you submit your resume, people will say that you have a rock star reference list. When we go to conferences, people will say, wow, how did Illinois get such a diverse student body? Diversity, equity, and inclusion are embedded in our excellence. And when you need us, we will show up. I'm not telling you what I heard, but I'm telling you what I've experienced. The name precedes you, and again I say, you chose well. We give thanks for those who came before us and paved a path for equity and justice in education. They were road builders, and we are road builders for those who have yet to come. Again, I say you chose well. I highlight the word chose because you literally could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here. You chose to be at ILL, where you were steeped in equity, embedded pedagogies, and scholarship. Thank you for choosing us. You made our legacy stronger as each of you learned from and taught the institution to be better. And I knew it was not always easy, but you made it. Class of 2024, you made it. Some of you have been through a lot during your time here. You may have experienced moments of doubt, depression, anxiety, breakups, friend breakups, ridiculous landlords, waiting on pins and needles about those grades, or just partied too hard on Green Street. I mean, some of you probably partied last night, right? Some of you may have even lost loved ones or had to support your family back home, and a host of other things that you kept silent. But through it all, you made it to today. And for that, we say thank you, and we see you. Thank you for your service to yourself, to each other, and the community as a whole. The world needs you. I'm also here to tell you a secret. You've been waiting your whole life to meet someone like you. When you look back over your time at Illinois, your future self is already saying thank you. Thank you for not giving up. Thank you for the long study hours and engaging in educational opportunities. Thank you for staying the course. As much as this is a gift to your loved ones, especially your family, and happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, other mothers, happy Mother's Day. And to those who have lost mothers or other mothers, they are always in our heart. This day is a gift to your past, present, and future self, and served as one of the many symbolic markers that you are resilient, bold, daring, and genius. One day, you will be sitting in a meeting explaining your vision for your class, school district, organization, or community. And in the middle of the question and answer session, you will realize again that Illinois prepared you. You will vividly remember a discussion or an assignment where you did something similar, and you will smile recognizing the lessons from Illinois were perfect for this moment. And I know because it happens to me time and time again. It didn't make sense back then, but it makes absolute sense right now. And yes, I did say genius. Your genius is needed. I have this radical idea that everyone is a genius. And not in the limited notion of test scores or IQ, but in the sense that we all have something of value to offer ourselves in the community. And as we remember or put back together our gifts, our power, and our genius, it is both our responsibility and a privilege to share with the world, even when others might not get it. And while everyone won't see it or get it, that's okay, because it's for you to bring forth. Just like everybody can't bring the potato salad to the barbecue. Everybody can't bring your dream. But keep cooking that thing. And when it's ready, and you will know when it's ready, because that little voice on the inside will smile with gladness and give you the go-ahead. Trust it. This gift is made up of the beauty inside of you and all of the family, friends, mentors, and professors who helped you realize your potential. Those folks who planted seeds and may never see them bloom, but they did their job. Your full bloom is your thank you. And to all of those who supported you, we need you and your gift. And how do we know? Because you're here. And it's in you. So let this day be the beginning of your thank you to those who came before you, supported you along the way, and your promissory note to your future self and the many who are waiting for you. In ancient Kemet, that's today's Egypt, the highest form of education is the transformation of character to reach our highest potential so that we can help our family, community, and the world at large. Together, folks, we are creating the future and have the opportunity to build the things that are most needed for ourselves and others. As we move forward, graduates, you only have 3 things to remember. Know where you came from, know who you are, and know where you're going. Know that you chose well and that you came from an academic lineage of tree shakers and jelly makers. Make it equitable, make it just, and make it with love. Know that you are brilliant. Your genius is exactly what the world needs. You have to know this so that you can help see the genius in others. It's in everyone. You just have to be open to seeing and believing it. Lastly, know where you're going by practicing educere, the Latin root for education, meaning to bring forth genius, joy, and love in students, giving them permission to be, reminding them that their brilliance is exactly what the world needs. Let your students know that you are also learning from them, their families, and the communities, as much as they are learning from you. I say remind because too often society dismisses them, especially our most marginalized students, Black, brown, disabled, LGBT, low income, immigrant, English as second language learners, and all of their intersecting ideas. Remember, you can't cultivate what you don't know you have, which is why it's so important for you to know your academic lineage, who you are, and where you're going. This is how we create a better world for ourselves and each other. This is your amazing, beautiful, and strenuous job. In ancient Kemet, the word for love is miri. The hieroglyphs show a person and a gardening hoe, symbolizing that love is that planting work. Your job as an educator will indeed be a labor of love. To paint a picture for you, my former student, Ajo Hansu, she's a seamstress and the founder of Fufu and Sauce. She made the very suit that I'm wearing underneath my regalia. And let me tell you, it's fire. I can't go 2 feet without receiving compliments. This is the gift. When we pour into our students, they will pour that love back into us and the community. She is an example of that love. And I, too, am an example. The College of Education here at University of Illinois poured into me. And I'm just trying to share an ounce of what was given to me today with you and in my work. When we labor in love, we will all reap a beautiful harvest where students will share their gifts with you and the world. Let us all be road builders for those who have yet to come. Ashe, and it is beautiful. Congratulations, class of 2024.
Dr. Warren Grice, thank you for sharing your words of wisdom with our graduates and everyone in attendance. Now, I would like to ask Professor Kyle Christensen, Chair of the Department of Educational Psychology, to the podium to present the doctoral level 2024 Outstanding Student Medal Award.
Thank you, Dean Musa. The College of Education is one of the most vibrant and innovative in the nation. Our doctoral alumni occupy positions of leadership in major school systems, government agencies, corporations, and universities around the world. Courses of study are rigorous, and we carry forward the tradition of hooding our doctoral degree recipients, a practice established in the Middle Ages. As candidates cross the stage, they will receive a University of Illinois hood emblematic of their degree. Light blue for Doctor of Education, and royal blue for Doctor of Philosophy. Recognizing students for their distinguished achievement is a priority of the College of Education. Each year, graduates are chosen at each degree level as recipients of outstanding student medals. These graduates are selected for recognition on the basis of their outstanding scholarship, leadership, and service to the college, university, and community. Each will offer remarks after the presentation of their class. At this time, we would like to recognize the Outstanding Student Medal Award winner at the doctoral level, Madison Sewell, who is receiving her PhD in Educational Psychology. Would Dr. Sewell please join me at the podium? It is my pleasure to introduce Madison Sewell, in the 2024 Doctoral Degree Outstanding Student Medallion recipient. Now a two-time College of Education at University of Illinois degree recipient, earlier this spring, Dr. Madison Sewell delivered her PhD dissertation defense in educational psychology, specifically in our developmental sciences division. Before graduate school here at Illinois, Madison worked in a variety of educational contexts, including a gifted and talented summer program in Arkansas, a high school in the Czech Republic, and an urban elementary school in Dallas, Texas. Through these experiences, she became interested in learning more about social, emotional, and behavioral skills and their relationship to positive youth development. Her research revolves around how these skills influence academic achievement and civic engagement behaviors like volunteering, activism, informal helping, and voting during adolescence and young adulthood. Madison is also interested in the reverse, how civic engagement influences the development of social, emotional, and behavioral skills. During her time at Illinois, she developed and led evaluation projects for We See You, the university's campus-wide community engagement and service program. In his nomination of Madison for the award, Dr. Chris Napolitano, Associate Professor of Educational Psychology, said, "The through line of Madison's research, mentorship, teaching, and service is her leadership abilities. Students and faculty look to Madison as a leader and have done so since her early days here at Illinois. She can lead a team of undergraduates and class instructor. As class instructor, she can lead a group of undergraduates on a shared research project as mentor. She has led our research team as first author towards high-impact publications. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Sewell on this well-deserved honor. All right. Okay. Yes, hat off, I think. Yeah. There we go. Very nice.
Will the candidates for the Doctor of Education and the Doctor of Philosophy degrees please come forward?
See the two next to Barbara? The two next to Barbara. Those are my two.
Madison Sewell, Doctor of Philosophy from Educational Psychology, hooded by Chris Napolitano.
Angelique C. Evans, Doctor of Philosophy, Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, hooded by Drs. Ann Dyson and Theopolis Moten.
Miguel Capers, Doctor of Education and Educational Policy, Organization, and Leadership, hooded by Denise Hood.
Gabrielle Devlin, Doctor of Education, Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, hooded by Dr. Denise Hood.
Marcus McCarty, Doctor of Education, Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, hooded by Denise Hood.
Janice Mitchell, Doctor of Education, Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, hooded by Dr. Denise Hood.
Sharnessa Warren, Doctor of Education and Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, hooded by Denise Hood.
Christopher Cirencioni, Doctor of Education, Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, hooded by Drs. Jay Mann and Rachel Rogman.
Rakaya Perkin-Williams, Doctor of Philosophy from Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, hooded by Rachel Rogan.
Aaron Gayheimer, Doctor of Education, Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, hooded by Dr. Allison Witt.
Matt Hensley, Doctor of Education from Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, hooded by Christopher Spann.
William Janshigo, Doctor of Education, Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, hooded by Dr. Osley Flores.
Moore Guy, Doctor of Philosophy from Curriculum and Instruction, hooded by Carla Muller. Shaptorshi Raman, Doctor of Philosophy from Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, hooded by Carla Muller. Gina Carlin, Doctor of Education from Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, hooded by Hyun Suk Kang.
Theodora Korkulu, Doctor of Philosophy, Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, hooded by Dr. Mary Kalansis.
Samantha Mullins, Doctor of Education from Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, hooded by Sharon Lee.
Megan Polega, Doctor of Education, Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, hooded by Dr. Sharon Lee.
Joshua Swanner, Doctor of Education from Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, hooded by Paul Bruno.
Tae-Hyun Kim, Doctor of Philosophy, Curriculum and Instruction, hooded by Dr. Rob Lindgren.
Brian Guerrero, Doctor of Philosophy from Curriculum and Instruction, hooded by Rob Lindgren.
Brianna Hendrickson, Doctor of Philosophy, Department of Curriculum and Instruction, hooded by Dr. Sarah McCarthy.
Jada Alrawashte, Doctor of Philosophy from Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, hooded by Samantha Lindgren.
Lisa Shang Lee, Doctor of Philosophy, Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, hooded by Wenho David Wang.
Joseph Mirabelli, Doctor of Philosophy from Educational Psychology, hooded by Jennifer Cromley.
Matt Gadberry, Doctor of Philosophy, Educational Psychology, hooded by Dr. Jennifer Cromley.
Elise McCarran, Doctor of Philosophy from Educational Psychology, hooded by Jennifer Cromley.
Hannah Brenner, Doctor of Philosophy, Special Education, hooded by Dr. Stacy Diamond.
Sean Reeder, Doctor of Philosophy from Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, hooded by Jennifer Delaney.
Minji Hu, Doctor of Philosophy, Educational Psychology, hooded by Dr. Jinming Zhang.
Marion Pan, Doctor of Philosophy from Educational Psychology, hooded by Kyle Christensen.
Lynn Burdick, Doctor of Philosophy, Special Education, hooded by Dr. Catherine Kaur.
Mia Chudzik, Doctor of Philosophy from Special Education, hooded by Catherine Kaur.
Crystal Williams, Doctor of Philosophy, Special Education, hooded by Dr. Michaelina Ostrowski.
Marlon Mitchell, PhD from Curriculum Instruction, hooded by Alette Willis.
Kendra Nalubega Booker, Doctor of Philosophy, Department of Curriculum and Instruction, hooded by Dr. Arlette Willis.
Richard Price, Doctor of Philosophy from Special Education, hooded by Amber Ray and Emily Tarkonish.
Kate Connor, Doctor of Philosophy, Special Education, hooded by Amber Ray.
Ban Haidar, Doctor of Philosophy from Special Education, hooded by Hedda Medin-Kaplansky.
Melanie Martin, Doctor of Philosophy, Special Education, hooded by Dr. Hedda Medin-Kaplansky.
Rebecca Folkerts, Doctor of Philosophy from Special Education, hooded by Hedda Medin-Kaplansky.
Edmund Graham III, Doctor of Philosophy, Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, hooded by Dr. Ebony Zamani Gallagher.
Crystal Andrews, Doctor of Philosophy from Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, hooded by Ebony Zamani Gallagher.
Adrian Jackson, Doctor of Philosophy, Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, hooded by Dr. Ebony Zamani Gallagher and Dr. Christopher Spann. Will all the doctoral candidates please rise? Please join me in congratulating these newest doctoral graduates. We now invite Dr. Madison Sewell, Doctoral Degree Outstanding Student Medal recipient, to deliver remarks.
Good morning. When I was an undergraduate, I struggled to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. I attempted to tackle this uncertainty head-on by trying everything. I majored in STEM and minored in the humanities. I was a student athlete. I tutored writing and served as a teaching assistant. I ran a voter registration drive on campus. I considered several post-graduation paths: physical therapist, doctor, high school chemistry teacher, public health educator, but none seemed quite right. I could not commit to a single path. I wanted to do several different things. During my junior year, I started to consider a PhD. I knew absolutely nothing about the process, but I knew that I loved science, I loved writing, and I loved mentoring others. All of that seemed to be what my professors did, at least from an outsider's perspective. I decided to meet with a trusted mentor to ask her what getting her PhD was like, and her description struck me. It was very lonely. This was not what I was expecting her to say. I was expecting excitement, enthusiasm, encouragement, but instead, I got a warning. This meeting shaped my perception of what getting a PhD entailed. I imagined myself as a PhD student, alone at a desk, reading articles or writing papers, and alone in a lab, running experiments in the wee hours of the morning. The thought was daunting, so I put that path aside in the discard pile with doctor, physical therapist, and public health educator. After finishing college, I decided I would explore the teacher route. I worked in several education contexts, including a vocational high school in the Czech Republic, a gifted and talented summer program for rising high school seniors in the state of Arkansas, and in a third grade reading classroom in Dallas Independent School District. In these very different K-12 settings, I was struck not by the differences, but by the similarities. In every space, I saw firsthand how socio-emotional skills help my students navigate educational and interpersonal challenges. I wanted to learn more about these socio-emotional skills and the kinds of programs and curricula that helped youth develop them. So 3 years and 3 jobs later, I returned to the idea of pursuing a PhD. However, my mentor's words were always at the back of my mind. I knew I was going to be uprooting myself coming to graduate school, and I would not know a single soul at any of the places I applied. During campus visits, it was important for me to see whether current graduate students were happy, whether they were friends with each other, and whether they felt supported by their advisors in their program. I saw and felt that here in the College of Education. On that visit day, everything just felt right. Here seemed like a place where I could reach my professional goals and belong to a community. I started my PhD in the fall of 2019, so I was only 1.5 semesters in when the COVID-19 pandemic sent us into lockdown. Again, my undergraduate mentor's words came back to haunt me. Getting a PhD is lonely. Gone were the statistics study sessions at my newly made friend's dining room table, the walks to Espresso Royale at Krannert Art Museum with my advisor while discussing my early research project, and the simple small talk before class would begin. Lockdown started just when I felt I was finding my footing as a PhD student and I was creating meaningful relationships. Nonetheless, despite the pandemic, I would still say the most meaningful facet of my graduate education has been the relationships I have built with faculty, fellow graduate students, and undergraduate students. Without these relationships, I would not be speaking to you all today. The community I embedded myself into here in the College of Education was instrumental in my development as a scholar, educator, and mentor. This speech is too short to recognize every person who has helped me on this journey and how they helped me. But suffice to say, the faculty, the graduate students, and the undergraduate students here at Illinois have challenged my thinking and inspired me with their own passions for education, equity, and positive youth development. Beyond their contribution to my professional development, they made me feel like I belonged here, that I was cared for, and that I was not alone in this process. As an undergraduate, I thought my attainment of a PhD would be an individual triumph, the result of the hard work I did alone. Coming here, I found that perspective was only a sliver of the whole picture. This was not an individual journey for me, and I suspect also not for you. It was a collective endeavor, impossible without community. As we embark on this next step, I encourage all of us to continue seeking wisdom and support from others, to continue asking difficult questions and sitting with unexpected answers. Class of 2024, I'm excited to see what we can learn and do together. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sewell, for your inspired remarks. Congratulations. A significant part of the mission of the College of Education is providing master's and advanced certificate programs for the continuing professional development of practicing educators. The college offers over a dozen online and off-campus master's degree programs and endorsements, providing access to world-class instruction and scholarship for educational professionals everywhere. Please stand if you are a graduate of our online or off-campus degree programs so that we can welcome you to campus and congratulate you on your accomplishments. Welcome. It is now my pleasure to introduce Huang Nguyen, the 2024 Master's Degree Outstanding Student Medal recipient. I'd like to ask Huang to join me at the podium, please. Huang graduates with her Master's of Science degree in Curriculum and Instruction at Illinois. Huang's home country is Vietnam, where her exceptional educational journey began. After completing her bachelor's degree in Vietnam, she was awarded a prestigious Fulbright scholarship to further her studies. After becoming a high school teacher, Huang continued teaching free English classes to underserved rural students and orphans there in the program that she founded. Huang's community service projects and educational initiatives did not stop when she moved to the United States to pursue her master's degree. While in Champaign-Urbana, she co-founded the Brave Girls Project, funded by the U.S. State Department and designed to empower a large number of women and girls through academic leadership, critical thinking, and civic engagement. Additionally, for more than 7 years, Huang has coordinated the Viet Skype project that promotes conversational English practice for Vietnamese students, connecting students with native English speakers across the world to encourage the learning of English in authentic, real-world, and multi-dialect settings. Professor Carla Moeller is Huang's academic advisor and thesis research director and says Huang is a peer leader, offering support and mentorship to other graduate students. In her nomination letter for this award, Dr. Moeller wrote, "Huang demonstrates more initiative, curiosity, and motivation than any student I have had in almost 22 years at the University of Illinois. She shares her life and culture. She teaches those who need it most. She opens herself to each educational opportunity that comes her way. She is truly an exceptional person and student that all academic advisors long to have and is the epitome of what our outstanding student medal winner can represent. Please join me in congratulating Huang on this well-deserved honor." What a nice... You ready? Let's turn something.
We are pleased to present the candidates for master's degrees and advanced certificates. And worthy of noting, today the College of Education is proud to award its first Master's of Science degrees to graduates who have completed our new mental health counseling program in the Department of Educational Psychology. Will all the candidates for the Master of Arts, Master of Education, Master of Science degrees, and certificates of advanced study please come forward.
Master of Science, Curriculum and Instruction, Huang Yuan.
Master of Education in Curriculum Instruction, Haley Ross.
Master of Education, Curriculum and Instruction, Pooja Roy.
Master of Education in Curriculum and Instruction, Amanda Tainter.
Master of Education, Curriculum and Instruction, Addison Norris.
Master of Education in Curriculum and Instruction, Elaine Graylack.
Master of Education, Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Christina Panacci.
Masters of Education, Educational Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Danielle Murchison.
Master of Education, Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Mariah Ward.
Master of Education in Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Sean Smith.
Master of Education, Curriculum and Instruction, Michael Seiler.
Master of Education in Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Brianna Agudelo.
Master of Education, Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Lauren Thomas.
Master of Education in Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Michelle Brown.
Master of Education, Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Taylor Bruno.
Master of Education in Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Michael Ruby.
Master of Education, Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Caitlin Galloway.
Master of Education in Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Ariana Smith.
Master of Education, Education Policy and Organization, Aileen Dukanich.
Master of Education in Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Catherine Van Nottingham.
Master of Education, Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Emily Wise.
Master of Education in Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, and Graduate Certificate in Instructional System Design, Management, and Leadership, Stacy Heideco.
Master of Education, Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Amanda Thorpe.
Master of Education in Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Emily Moore.
Master of Education, Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Jacqueline Nardelli Sanchez.
Master of Education in Special Education, Clarissa Cortez.
Master of Education, Special Education, Grace Sawyer.
Master of Education in Special Education, Maisie Reese.
Master of Education, Special Education, Nina Kessler.
Master of Education in Special Education, Krista Overstreet.
Master of Education, Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Ala Barakat.
Master of Education in Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Sheena Zackerly.
Master of Science, Curriculum and Instruction, Andrew Christensen.
Master of Education in Curriculum and Instruction, Haley Monyak.
Master of Education, Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Leslie Ress.
Master of Education in Curriculum and Instruction, Ophelia Campusano.
Master of Education, Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Ryan Medina.
Master of Education in Educational Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Tong Tran.
Master of Education, Curriculum and Instruction, Thaddeus Carlson.
Master of Education in Curriculum and Instruction, Blaise Pascal Zamena.
Master of Education, Secondary Education, Riley Mueller.
Masters of Education in Curriculum and Instruction, Julia Recker.
Master of Education, Curriculum and Instruction, Wahida Pothigara.
Master of Science in Educational Psychology, Christian Palaguachi.
Master of Education, Secondary Education, Dominic Villette.
Master of Education in Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Stacy Michelle Spangler.
Master of Education, Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Rachel Walker.
Master of Education in Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Londa Neely.
Master of Education, Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Thomas Steele.
Master of Education in Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Catherine Ward.
Master of Education, Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, John Love.
Master of Education in Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Aaron Smith.
Master of Education, Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Ava Lugo Notvig.
Master of Education in Curriculum and Instruction, Allison Cimaresti.
Master of Education, Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Brandy Fields.
Master of Education in Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Montserrat Tiamiu.
Master of Education, Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Lydia Socorro Alvarez.
Master of Education in Curriculum and Instruction, Donna Valtiera.
Master of Education, Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Christina McNamara.
Master of Education in Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, and Graduate Certificate in International Education, Administration, and Leadership, Mary Kate Pelser.
Master of Science, Educational Psychology, Simone Zarcata.
Master of Education in Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Wei Ting Xu.
Master of Education, Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Ambrina Saeed.
Master of Education in Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Ibrahima Dumbiya.
Master of Science, Mental Health Counseling, Avery Norwick.
Please give it up for Master of Science in Mental Health Counseling, Kaylee Gavin.
Master of Science, Mental Health Counseling, Dudu Huang.
Master of Education in Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership with a specialization in Learning Design and Leadership, Jennifer Jones.
Master of Education, Learning Design and Leadership, Molly Kettlehut.
Master of Education in Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Marissa Brewer.
Master of Education, Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Maya Pitts.
Master of Education in Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Chun Chun.
Master of Education, Curriculum and Instruction, Alyssa Reno.
Master of Education in Curriculum and Instruction, Kylie Isaacson.
Master of Education, Curriculum and Instruction, Min-Ji Wu.
Master of Arts in Curriculum and Instruction, Hein Yang.
Master of Education, Secondary Education, Edwin Lennon.
Master of Education in Special Education, Keith Barber.
Master of Education, Special Education, Ali Bartow.
Master of Education in Special Education, Allison Hins.
Master of Education, Special Education, Heather Hollenbeck.
Master of Education in Special Education, Marissa Meyer.
Master of Education, Special Education, Margaret DeMauro.
Master of Education in Special Education, Kaylee Stemple.
Master of Education, Curriculum and Instruction, Alexandra Muraras.
Master of Education in Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Macy Ellis.
Master of Arts, Education, Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Jackson Isela.
Master of Education, Curriculum and Instruction, Parth Shastri.
Master of Education, Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Andy Barrientos.
Master of Science in Mental Health Counseling, Luyang Lee.
Master of Science, Mental Health Counseling, Taylor Eastwood.
Master of Science in Mental Health Counseling, Elizabeth Ellie Randy Henyo.
Master of Education, Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Rachel Gray.
Master of Education in Curriculum and Instruction, Eric Rios.
Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership, Sarah Bruelsa.
Will all Masters and Certificate of Advanced Study candidates please rise? Please join us in congratulating these deserving graduates. We now invite Hong Wen, our Outstanding Student Medal recipient at the master's degree level, to the podium to deliver remarks.
Good morning, everyone. It's truly an honor for me today to have the opportunity to speak as a representative of the College of Education Master Degree Class of 2024. Congratulations to each and every one of us for reaching this milestone. As we embrace the excitement of this moment, let's journey back in our mind to where it all started for each of us. My story began many years ago in a small town surrounded by tea plantations in Vietnam's mountainous region. Every day, I would tuck myself in my mom's work corner, either studying or watching her craft clothes. Every evening, I would eagerly wait for my dad to come home from a local paper factory because I knew that he would challenge me with some fun math problems. I owe everything to my parents. The legacies of love, dedication, and passion for learning filled my heart with boundless joy. A few years ago, while my dad was battling pancreatic cancer, my daughter entered this world. Looking at the little angel in my arms, I desire to pass on my parents' legacies to the future generations. Little did I know that the essays I wrote about my dad during his last days would bring me to this very moment. Each of our paths would differ, but we have shared the journey through College of Education master programs. Doubt may have crept in at times, causing us to question our ability to persevere. Dr. Giselle Martinez Negret once shared her personal journey with me. I will remember her story of working as a nanny, cycling to school in the snow with tears in her eyes. Her story reminded me that we all start somewhere, and thus it's about taking one step at a time. Amidst confusion, sadness, and chaos, let's not forget the love and support surrounding us. For me, it's the loving presence of my advisor, Dr. Carla Moller. And the warmth from Mr. Gregory Robinson and his family, who provided me a home away from home. I ask each and every one of you to reflect on specific faculty, staff, and peers who supported your journey. Let's thank them in our heads and in our hearts and tell them whenever we can. And thank you everyone in the College of Education for your amazing support. Let's remember the power of our experiences. Birth amid dying, joy amid sorrows, and resilience to hardships. These ups and downs will serve as invaluable resources as we move into our own classrooms, return to our classroom with an advanced degree, take other job in education, or move on to the next academic degree. With the exceptional education that we received from world-leading educators in the College of Education, we stand ready and well-prepared for the challenges of today's and tomorrow's education. As we embark on this next chapter, let us carry forward all the legacies that we hold dear and pass them on to the next generations. So, class of 2024, I leave you with this one question. As an educator, what legacies do you aspire to leave behind? Thank you.
I'm Sarah McCarthy, Interim Associate Dean of Undergraduate Programs. Each year, the College of Education graduates the best and brightest early childhood, elementary, middle grades, and special educators in the state of Illinois. Our teacher education programs are academically rigorous and fully equip our graduates to become teachers with essential skills and training that remains relevant throughout their careers. In addition to our licensure programs, our Learning and Education Studies degree prepares students to address and solve concerns in virtually every facet of education, from how technology can enhance educational environments, how to better understand diversity, data analytics, and how workplace training and development can remedy the challenges impacting our schools and society. The University of Illinois recognizes high academic achievement by inscribing on bronze tablets, which hang inside the campus main library, the names of students from each college who have at least a 3.5 cumulative grade point average through the academic term prior to graduation and rank in the top 3% of students in their graduating class. A College of Education record number 24 of our undergraduates are being honored with a bronze tablet today. Please stand when I call your name. Jennifer Chen, Leah Claire Daly, Erin Marie Dickett, Abby Nicole Finn, Madigan Kaylee O'Keefe Franzen, Lucia Galen Garcia, Sarah Ann Jeskovitz, Kelly Jessica Cruz, Claire Minji Lee, Dana Kelly McMillan, Kara Scarlett Merkley, Caitlin Allison Mullings, Shelby Ann Ortel, Ashlyn Jean Brooke Park, Veronica Maria Podgorski, Mercy Mariah Ratz, Catherine High Sackerson, Madeline Ann Saper, Sydney Danielle Spires, Kara Lee Troy, Ashley Shue, Esther Shue, Anna Ray Zay, Vivian Zhao. Please join me in congratulating our 2024 Bronze Tablet Scholars. The College of Education James Scholar Program recognizes the talents of outstanding students and provides unique learning opportunities to enrich their educational experience. These students are entitled to certain academic privileges, and their University of Illinois transcript officially recognizes that they participated in this honors program. Will our James Scholar students please stand and be recognized? I'll now ask Professor Mickey Ostrowski, Interim Head of Curriculum Instruction, back up to the podium to introduce our Baccalaureate Outstanding Student Medal awardee.
Thanks, Sarah. I'm pleased to introduce the Bachelor's Degree Outstanding Student Medal recipient, Yuli Alcantar. Yuli, will you please join me at the podium? Yuli is graduating with her degree in curriculum and instruction, having completed the elementary education program with teaching certification in ESL, world language in Spanish, and bilingual education. Woo. According to one of her nominators, Yuli's high-quality research and coursework demonstrated a depth of thought and a clear focus on her future students. She raised the level of discussion in her classes on many occasions, helping create an atmosphere that mixed joy with a serious understanding of the responsibility ahead to teach other people's children inclusively and well, while balancing multiple endorsements and a minor in Spanish. On top of her rigorous and demanding teacher preparation program, Yuli also invested time mentoring fellow students on campus and within the college. She served for more than 3 years as an iConnect facilitator for the university, assisting incoming freshmen with facts about the campus and advice about how to succeed. At the same time, Yuli served as an education leader in the college, helping plan events, hold talks for student recruits, and assisting with the College of Ed tours, among other things. Yuli's faculty nominator said, "Yuli stands out in my mind as one of the most engaged and epistemologically curious undergraduate students I have taught across the 25 years I have been teaching undergrads at 3 top-tier universities. She walks the walk of being a leader among her peers, who finds helping others inspiring and who develops and shares knowledge generously. Please join me in congratulating Yuli on this well-deserved honor."
Will the baccalaureate candidates please rise and come forward as they are directed to do so by the faculty marshals?
Yulisa Alcantar, elementary education.
Madeline Sieper, early childhood education.
Kathy Huang, early childhood education.
Lucia Galan Garcia.
Espada Castañeda Franco, early childhood education.
Ruby Alana Paleo, early childhood education.
Irina Zhang, early childhood education.
Sydney Stevens, early childhood education.
Mary Catherine Sullivan, early childhood education.
Alyssa Goldstein, early childhood education.
Lauren Spanos, early childhood education.
Montana Weissner, early childhood education.
Elizabeth May Hartman, early childhood education.
Gwendolyn Cox, elementary education.
Heather Howard, elementary education.
Ashley Zofel, elementary education.
Gabriela Diaz, elementary education.
Jessica Perez, elementary education.
Samantha Hun, elementary education.
Eliuth Martinez, elementary education.
Onita Penuel Fafali Bird, elementary education.
Savannah Clark, elementary education.
Mara Coughlin, elementary education.
Kenna Ashton, elementary education.
Alyssa Esposito, elementary education.
Hannah Lee, elementary education.
Kai Smith, elementary education.
Edith Alvarado, elementary education.
Juliana Malaberti, elementary education.
Amira Dadar, elementary education.
Christopher Clevenger, elementary education.
Ian Jordan, elementary education.
Jordan Butler, elementary education.
Gina Orofino, elementary education.
Andrea Cunningham, elementary education.
Julia Wakikato, elementary education.
Claire Lee, elementary education.
Ashley Sue, elementary education.
Allison Klingen, elementary education.
Vivian Zhao, elementary education.
Laura Kim, elementary education.
Amina Gurman, elementary education.
Elizabeth Lois, elementary education.
Cielo Sanchez, elementary education.
Natalia Marroquin, elementary education.
Morgan Murphy, elementary education.
Magali Munoz, elementary education.
Mercy Ratz, elementary education.
Shannon Cotter, elementary education.
Emma Rapp, elementary education.
Anna Zai, elementary education.
Nicole Romano, elementary education.
Carly Klein, elementary education.
Caroline Kellogg, elementary education.
Hayden Cecil, elementary education.
Abby Rutkins, elementary education.
Elizabeth Baxa, elementary education.
Roya Lippy, elementary education.
Miles Tanzer, elementary education. Ashley Lazaro, elementary education.
Shayla Sanchez, elementary education.
Christopher Troy Venable, elementary education.
Alyssa Malivan, elementary education.
Audrey Kermgard, elementary education.
Alexandria Williams, elementary education.
Braden Bayless, elementary education.
Emma Schuler, elementary education.
Sydney Spires, elementary education.
Dana Flitman, elementary education.
Anna Weishwell, elementary education.
Lauren Cranny, elementary education.
Marjorie Lickner, elementary education.
Sydney Bashaw, elementary education.
Carmen Jacobs, elementary education.
Addison Prina, elementary education.
Kathleen Hackett, elementary education.
Divya Patel, elementary education.
Cleopatra Vasiliadis, elementary education.
Gabriela Potaki, learning and education studies.
Grace Collins, elementary education.
Allie Sheehan, elementary education.
Dana McMillan, elementary education.
Brianne Ferguson, elementary education.
Caroline Smith, elementary education.
Caitlin Scotko, elementary education.
Madigan Franzen, elementary education.
Kelly Cruzy, elementary education.
Lindsay Garthwaite, elementary education.
Jacqueline Whitrock, elementary education.
Emily Rokicki, elementary education.
Ashley Zerlo, elementary education.
Elisa Cho, elementary education.
June Young, elementary education.
Tonantzin Savala, elementary education.
Betty Gamero, elementary education.
Isabella Casagrande, elementary education.
Caitlin Mullings, elementary education.
Anna Vimochil, learning and education studies.
Lilia Wirtz, learning and education studies.
Catherine Sacrison, learning and education studies. Andrea Farias, learning and education studies.
Sarah Johansson, learning and education studies.
Shelby Erdl, learning and education studies.
Kathy Chen, learning and education studies.
Jennifer Chen, learning and education studies.
Gina Bartow, middle grades education.
Jillian Przbilski, middle grades education.
Megan McCurdy, middle grades education.
Alyssa Calero, middle grades education.
Grace McCoy, middle grades education.
Peyton Kunkel, middle grades education.
Ari Feinberg, middle grades education.
Melissa Villarreal Aguayo, middle grades education.
Wendy Lopez, middle grades education.
Kayvon Jahad, middle grades education.
Marcin Patera, computer science and education.
Dorothy Hill Simmons, middle grades education.
David Wolf, middle grades education.
Melanie Ceballos, middle grade education.
Esther Shu, middle grades education.
Genesis Rivera, middle grades education.
Lily Hune, middle grades education.
Andrew Bedoya, middle grades education.
Mackenzie Lynn Luxinger, middle grades education.
Alexandra Pappas, middle grades education.
Claudia Gurrell, middle grades education.
Sarah Juskowitz, middle grades education.
Kara Merkel, middle grades education.
Julianne Ross, middle grades education.
Emma Simmons, middle grades education.
Samantha Straith, middle grades education.
Haley Armanis, middle grades education.
Madeline Fagan, middle grades education.
Jerry Bermudez, middle grades education.
Anna Cooley, middle grades education.
Kayla Zimmer, middle grades education.
Catherine Dubé, middle grades education.
Michaela Morton, middle grades education.
Audrey Piemontesi, middle grades education.
Rebecca Clowans, middle grades education.
Grace Johnson, middle grades education.
Nora Yeager, special education.
Rima Dewan, special education.
Tegan Meyer, special education.
Lily Caesar, special education.
Elizabeth Schmidt, special education.
Catherine McDermott, special education.
Ashlyn Park, special education.
Adam Miza, special education.
Samuel Cohen, special education.
Jack Zader, special education.
Rachel Wartel, special education.
Veda Marshall, Special Education.
Veronica Pardowski, Special Education.
Kara Troy, Special Education.
Lillian Mae Brooks, Elementary Education.
Jariel Appling, Elementary Education.
Ann Burtis, Special Education.
Kirsten Wydra, Special Education.
Isabella Trolia, Special Education.
Emma Homer, Special Education.
Reese Decker, Special Education.
Olivia Syatt, Special Education.
Leah Daly, Special Education.
Megan McCormick, Special Education. Andres Cisneros, Special Education.
Bryn Kenner, Special Education.
Ariana Madrigal, Special Education.
Gabrielle Golab, Special Education.
Mina Harbaugh, Special Education.
Abby Finn, Special Education.
Hannah Eulish, Special Education.
Emma King, Special Education.
Avery Robinson, Special Education.
Aaron Dickett, Special Education.
Annette Tenson, Elementary Education.
Maya Allen Gonzalez, Elementary Education.
Naomi Spacel, Elementary Education.
Victoria Zhang, Elementary Education.
Will all baccalaureate candidates please rise? Please join us in congratulating these 2024 graduates. And now we invite Yulisa Alcantar, our baccalaureate degree outstanding medal student, to the podium.
I could have never imagined being in this position. It is with great honor that I celebrate with you the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign College of Education class of 2024, the achievements of not only myself, but everyone sitting here today. What unites us all is our passion for sharing knowledge. I believe that each one of us has been influenced by remarkable teachers, those who have made us feel seen and valued, or even those whose challenges pushed us to excel. Regardless, we are here today, ready for what the future will bring us. Thanks to the College of Education at UIUC, we are ready to open our classroom doors, begin our research, and innovate education. What I cherish most about our college experience is the support from the College of Education faculty, staff, and fellow students. They provided invaluable opportunities and experiences, fostering collaboration, open discussions, and a brave space for learning from making mistakes. The knowledge and flexibility that our advisors have given us, opportunities to take classes outside of our comfort zones and explore what is beyond us. One of the most valuable opportunities for students in the licensure programs was the possibility to take courses to receive endorsements attached to our teaching license. For some of us, this knowledge meant that we changed paths and found a place to excel within education that is outside a traditional classroom. We will be the alumni who will change education through technology or administration. UIUC exposes us to diverse cultures and people, which will give us a greater understanding of our future students' perspectives. Nevada Street has always been a home away from home for hundreds of students. It is a place where we can find a piece of our culture or learn about someone else's. Furthermore, the College of Education strived to expose us to what diversity looks like through the courses that we were offered. The wellness programs UIUC offers on campus have helped students reduce stress and have fun during the busy weeks of school. My favorite program always being the College of Education's Finals Week De-Stress Palooza. There is truly nothing better than getting a massage after presenting a final project. Besides academic opportunities, the College of Education faculty were always there to offer extra support, even for those of us who transitioned to student teaching off campus our last semester. Their unwavering support and understanding played a pivotal role in our journey. So, if I or my peers cried in your class or in the undergrad office, thanks for being there. I consider many of the College of Education's staff as my inspiration for the educator I aspire to become. Our professors have been fountains of knowledge, and I hope we maintain these connections as we embark on our teaching careers. One professor that has stood out to my peers and me is Dr. Carla J. Moeller, whose passion for children's education and innovative ideas on diversity and intersectionality left a lasting impact. Her classes were not just challenging, but profoundly engaging, motivating us to strive for excellence. When a teacher cares about their students and topic, as students, we want to do better, not only for ourselves, but to make that same teacher proud of us. I extend a special thanks to the undergraduate office team at the College of Education, including Roxanne, Joe, Kelly, Hannah, our advisors, and everyone working behind the scenes. Although we might not have known it, the people who made our daily coffee and kept our undergraduate office clean were a team of undergraduate students. The College of Education undergraduate teams, the staff, our peers, and the faculty's dedication to our mental health and academic success has guided us over the past 4 years. Education truly is a collaborative effort, and your passion has influenced countless students, creating a ripple effect that will impact thousands in the future. I am so proud of how far we've gone already. I believe that the key to success is to simply enjoy the moment. Take time to laugh with your students and get to know your colleagues, but the key is to remember that at some point, we need to get back on track. Finalmente, no puedo terminar sin incluir a los que hablan español. Gracias a nuestro apoyo en casa o en la escuela que nos ayudaron a mantener un lenguaje tan bonito. Mi papá siempre nos recordaba que en casa se hablaba español y mi mamá me enseñó cómo se debe estudiar. Uno de mis recuerdos más bonitos era aprender cómo leer en español con mi mamá. El lenguaje es una puente a nuestra cultura que se debe celebrar. Felicidades, el mundo espera nuestra luz. Thank you to everyone at the College of Education for your unwavering dedication and support.
Thank you, Yuli, for your wonderful remarks. I now ask that all members of the class of 2024 here with us today, please rise. And move your tassel from the right to the left, signifying that you are now graduates of the College of Education at the University of Illinois. Give them another round of applause. Thank you. You may be seated. Before we conclude the ceremony, let us take a moment to thank some of you in the audience. Take a moment to thank the parents, family members, friends, and loved ones of the graduates. Today is as much a celebration of your dedication as it is of their hard work. Thank you for your contributions to their success. We're thrilled you're part of this joyful occasion. If you're a parent, family member, or friend of a graduate and are able to, please rise. Thank you for your support. Thank you. And now I also like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our exceptional faculty. Your dedication, passion, and mentorship have inspired, challenged, and empowered our graduates, both inside and outside of the classroom. Thank you for your dedication to our students' success. If you're a family member and are able to, please rise. Come on, faculty, don't be shy, please rise. Thank you for your support. And last but not least, on behalf of the college, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to our dedicated staff members. Each of our staff plays a critical role in supporting our mission and the success of our students and the institution. They're also responsible for organizing this wonderful event today. If you're a staff member and are able to, please rise. And for all of you out there who celebrate Mother's Day today, happy Mother's Day. I'm sure it will be one of the most memorable Mother's Day experiences. So let's give one more round of applause to our graduates. Congratulations again. You did it. And we all look forward to following your bright futures ahead. And now, will everyone stand? And Sycamore Brass will lead us in the singing of Hail to the Orange. Please join me in thanking the Sycamore Brass for providing music for today's program. This concludes our convocation ceremony for 2024. The graduates we have recognized today will join other alumni from this college in making their mark on the future of education. We invite you to join us now at the Education Building for graduation gifts and more photos. Our marshals will direct the recessional. Please remain in your seats until all graduates have left the auditorium. Once graduates have completely exited, families are welcome to exit on the east gym doors. Thank you all again for being part of this joyful occasion, and congratulations, 2024 graduates.